What's up? This is the most important video that I'm going to do on the channel for the foreseeable future, and to me, I think the most important video I've done thus far. That's how seriously I take this upcoming election, and how I seriously back in Jean Murray in this post and indeed this video. I would ask the people of Meath to vote for Jean Murray. I would ask people that have relatives in Meath, friends, co-workers, whatever it is, please canvass them and tell them to vote for Jean Murray number one, and ensure that Helen Mcentee does not receive any preference. No number one, no number two, no number three, no number four, no number five. You do not have to give a preference beside everyone's face and name, and do not give Helen Mcentee anything, please. I would humbly ask that of you. Do vote for Jean Murray and give her your number one, because it would be a massive feather in the cap of nationalists and patriots should we dump out Helen Mcentee in this upcoming election. Not only would we be dumping out one of the most horrific and vile politicians that we have ever had the displeasure of having to host in our country, we would also be dumping out the deputy leader of Fine Gael. That is a party that's already in a tailspin, with multiple members already leaving and not seeking re-election. So this could be another one. This could be a big issue for them should their deputy get absolutely trounced in this upcoming election, which I would love to see happen. So, who is Jean Murray? That's what I want to spend this video talking about, but also giving you little tidbits about what the likes of Helen Mcentee has been up to over the last couple of years. You can see with her voting record, for example, where she has stood in previous situations, and also is telling you that there's no linking between crime and immigration, even though you see multiple posts nearly daily at this stage of the game where foreigners are up to no good here in this country, and there's a blasé attitude been taken by Helen Mcentee. Not only that then, but instead of enforcing our borders, the likes of the Gardaí have been weaponised to attack and assault our own people in their own areas that don't want fellas that have come from, that have absconded, I would say, from other countries to be just shoved into their areas. You know what I'm saying? This is stuff that Helen Mcentee has watched over and has presided over for the last number of years as Justice Minister. This country also as well is now subject to this hate speech nonsense and hate crime nonsense. That stuff, that's the baby of Helen Mcentee, let's not forget. And that is a person and a very serious situation where the government choose to seize your tongue at will. That's not good, because freedom of expression and freedom of speech is enshrined in our constitution. And these people, these sick individuals like Helen Mcentee, Hobgoblin Mcentee, are people that want to do that. And that other little traitor up in the Phoenix Park there, Michael D. Higgins, has signed that in. Let's not forget that. Moving on to talking about Jean, because that's very important. She wants to protect her identity. So here I am reading from a leaflet from the National Party. So I'm just reading it out here over the course of this video, and it just gets you to know Jean a little bit more. The likes of the apparatus isn't going to host Jean, because they know that if people hear what Jean has to say, a lot of people are going to agree with it, and the apparatus doesn't want egg on their faces. They do not want to make it look like there's a contender in Meath, and they want it to make it look like Helen's the only person in Meath and that you should vote for her because her father was a politician. You know what I'm saying? These are the types of things these people get up to. They don't want you to know about others, and so that's why I'm here. I'm here to share the news and let people know about what's going on. Protect our identity. I stand with the National Party because we want to protect Ireland's heritage, culture and Christian ethos. Things that you won't hear from the likes of Mcentee anyway. I have devout Christian values, and I have been married for the last 30 years. I have 3 children and 4 grandchildren, and I've been part of the local community and Rathout for the last 22 years. My professional background is in hairdressing and business. Now, that's something I just want to highlight. That's so important, because that is an average Joe. That is a normie that could potentially be in these positions. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, you look at Helen Mcentee. How did she get to where she is? You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, nepotism. So that's just my opinion. But there you've got a person that has worked an average Joe job, and she is looking to be elected. I think that's phenomenal. That's what we need. But I feel I've learned more about life by delving into my favourite pastime of reading. This in turn encouraged me to write a blog about my experiences and what I had learned and am still learning. I first became aware of the failure of governmental policies to protect the nation in 2008, when the government bailed out the banks and left the mortgage holder hanging dry without job security or the ability to pay debts. Many businesses were forced to go bankrupt, with the self-employed finding themselves without entitlement for financial support. Many families also lost their homes. An increasing number of young Irish people began to emigrate, never to return. This is what the likes of Helen Mcentee's party and other parties, the uniparty that's there, have presided over. Just so you're aware of that, okay? Now that's my own little adding to this here. This, along with the 2020 lockdown fiasco, in which businesses, churches, doctors, surgeries, and ordinary people again fell victim to governmental incompetence, was completely avoidable. She also says as well below that Ireland belongs to the Irish. That's something that you wouldn't hear muttered from any incompetent little fool that's now running the country and ruining it and running it into the ground. Sure, it's not. Anyway, we'll move on. How's the Irish, not the world, is also a big statement that's made on this leaflet, which I love to hear. Immigration. So I have 5 key points here that Jane highlights on her leaflet, and I am going to read them out. So immigration, number 1. I am fully opposed to the direct provision industry, and I oppose the opening of any new DP centres in County Meath. As an elected councillor, my first motion seeking to address this issue will be to cease cooperation with the Department of Integration in providing free housing to economic immigrants. I mean, that point alone, guys, should convince you to vote for it, like, you know what I mean? We'll move on to the second point here, housing. Because immigration is linked to all of the other problems that we have in this country. That's just my little aside here. But housing, another point that's made here. There are Irish families without the security of a home, while immigrants are gifted free state-provided housing. This practice must be brought to an end. Irish people should receive priority in the allocation of council housing. I will make it my mission to house the Irish, not the world. Phenomenal stuff. I'm loving this, I am. Education, point 3. If elected, I will continue to be a voice against the psychologically harmful transgender ideology being forced onto children in Irish classrooms, which will have a detrimental effect on children's social and cognitive development, along with other practices such as gender neutral public bathrooms, which violate the privacy and safety of women and young children. Phenomenal point there. I mean, I couldn't agree more with that. 4th point here, agriculture, against the green agenda. I mean, you've won me over with the other points, but this is another good one, because the Green Party are another horrific party. They are full of people that I don't know who vote for them. I've never met a person that's voted for the Green Party in my entire life. I am vehemently opposed to the ongoing annihilation of the Irish family farm, and as an elected councillor, I will fight the corner of our ignored and demonised Irish farmers. Without farmers, there is no future. And that's a brilliant point, because ultimately, guys, without farmers, there's no food, you know. And this is something that the Green Party are looking to press on. They're looking to cull cows, just as an aside here, and just to add to this point here that Jane's made. They're looking to cull cows, but then they want to fly in beef from Brazil. Like, make that make sense. Mental health. If elected, this is the 5th point. If elected, I will advocate for increased mental health services to help address the thousands of children and young adults on the waiting list of the inadequate HSE mental health department. Okay, guys. So here's the brass tacks. It's a very simple choice as far as I'm concerned. You either select a person that, what I've just read out, you agree with in Jane Murray, or you select a woman who has entrenched herself in globalism, has presided over some of the highest crime rates in Irish history, has pushed forward a bill and is attempting to make a law that you should be criminalised and put into jail for things you say and things you post online. She has also been linked with other stuff as well when it comes to the, as Jane Murray was referencing to, the transgender movement. There's also an allegation about her husband in Helen Mcentee working for a pharmaceutical company that does certain hormone blockers. Allegedly on that one. Speculatively. So these are your choices here, guys. And to me, it's a very simple one. The choice is Jane Murray. Jane Murray number 1. Now, I just want to say, as a last point in this video, I'm doing this off my own back. You know, I'm just a guy doing my own thing that sees the woods from the trees. And also, I just want to say, I think it's hugely important that we retake our country and that we select the right people to do so. Re-electing Helen Mcentee will have a detrimental effect on you and Meath, and not only in Meath but the wider country. So the eyes of the country are actually on Meath right now, because what you will be seeing in Meath. I just want you to understand, because you think that it's not going to come to you, but it will, because it's happened here in Dublin. You will see rampant criminality. You've had to open more Garda stations in Meath due to criminality. That's true. You've also had people now that have had towns like the likes of Navan become unrecognisable. That's going to keep happening. It's going to spread out. If you think you're hunky dory where you are, it's not going to be for very long. So you've got an option here to stop all of that and to reverse an awful lot of it in Jane Murray. Or you can just select Helen Mcentee and continue down the road that we have seen in Dublin, which is rampant crime, places that are no-go areas, places now in estates that people don't want to live in because the system has gifted a percentage of the houses to people that are third worlders and has moved people into those areas then in the surrounding areas that are also third worlders that are absconding from other countries. So that's the future that you're looking at down the barrel. And to be quite honest with you, it's not only you, because you might think, oh, well, I'm this age or whatever like that. It's future generations that you need to be looking out for. Do you think that it's acceptable for the likes of our heroes of 1916 to have fought and given their lives and subsequent lives after that and before that, hundreds of years, to just hand the keys over to the likes of Helen Mcentee, who's going to just hand them over again to masters that are shadowy individuals, faceless, nameless entities, certainly people that are hanging around certain groups across in Europe, but doing the bidding of these individuals? Or do you want someone that's going to be in there standing up for the Irish people and is not going to be taking this nonsense and is going to tell the Irish people exactly what's going on? Because that's what we've seen in councillors that have been elected from our side of the fence, Nationalists and Patriots. These councillors have come out in meetings now and after meetings and have said to people what's going on and how these other people in these groups have operated. Highly important. This is entirely doable, and I think the last thing I will say before I finish out this video is this. The people of Meath were humbly asking you to elect a nationalist and patriot to this great country and to dump out someone who has caused untold damage to this country and will continue to do so should she be re-elected. So do us a favour, make sure you vote for Jane Murray, make sure you give no votes, and make sure you canvass everybody that you know not to give Helen Mcentee any votes at all in this upcoming election. I know Meath people won't take it kindly, just this is a joke now by the way guys, just as I'm setting this up because in case people get offended this day and age. I know people in Meath won't take it too lightly when a Dubliner is telling them to do something, or I'm not telling you to do something. I'm asking you if you do us a favour when it comes to this here, because this person has got to go. You know, it's a very serious situation now, and I think the point has come in time now that we must speak about this openly. The apparatus isn't going to show you Jane Murray, so I am showing you. Give it a think, and again, like I said, I think she's the right person to vote for. And I think I would love to see Helen Mcentee despondent and out of a job after this election in November. Would you like that too? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you share the video. Very important that you do that. And make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. We're marching on towards 9,000 subscribers here on this channel. It'd be great to get there before the election and hopefully move on to 10,000 shortly after that. So I really appreciate it. I appreciate your time. Thanks very much. And I'll talk to you later. Good luck.